Hey everyone, thank you for joining me. So today I have the Cold Steel 4max, and what's really great about this version is that it is made in the US of A. So God bless this thing. And just a really quick shout out to Michael for sending this in to get it customized. Really appreciate it. And he basically gave me free range on this thing, so I'm kind of throwing ideas around of what I want to do with it, but I was told that I need to make it look really awesome. So I'm going to do my best to do that. Really quick, I do have the 4max Sqaure here, just as a really quick comparison. So this is basically the same knife. It's just you're getting better material on the 4max. Now I'm not going to get too much into detail about the 4max since it is basically identical to the 4max Sqaure, which I've talked about, and I've actually customized a few of these knives. But I'll leave the link up in the corner somewhere where you guys can check out the video on the 4max Sqaure, which I talk a little bit more about and give specs. But if anything, this 4max is maybe a hair bigger than the 4max Sqaure. So not too much of a difference other than the materials. So let's get into the materials. So you have a CPM 20 CV steel, which is an excellent steel. As you can see, it's been used, but that's not a bad thing. And you also get titanium liners, a titanium backspacer. I believe the thumb studs are titanium as well. And then you also get a titanium pocket clip. And then there's a couple different versions of scales that come with it. I believe some come with gray. This one comes with the tan G10, which is nicely contoured and milled. Just a really awesome knife. Again, like I said, I love the 4max Sqaure, so I knew once getting this in hand that I would really like it as well. So let's talk about what I will be doing to this knife. I'm going to be using the G10 carbon fiber mix material that I've used before on a couple other knives, but I want to kind of give it a black and gold look. I think it'll look really good. And since these liners and the backspacer are titanium, same with the pocket clip, I want to anodize them a bronze gold color. I think it'll look really cool with the black and gold. And then I will probably, well, more than likely I will be etching and stone washing the blade just to really carry that dark black and gold theme. Let's take this thing apart and see what's different about it, because I know there's going to be some slight differences here. So I'm going to grab my tools and we're going to get right into it. Alright, so here it is all taken apart. And one thing I noticed is that it does not come with the nylon washers that the 4max comes with, or a 4max Sqaure comes with. And then I noticed with the hardware, it's just, there's not a tube that goes through and gets screws on both ends. It just goes all the way through and you get just 3 screws that hold everything together other than the pivot. So a very simple setup. And it was a little stubborn taking it apart, so I just used this old scale. It's basically plastic GRN handle that I used off of a CRKT, but just to pry it open, and it's pretty much ready to be customized, so let's get to it. Alright, so here it is all finished, and I am really excited to put this thing together because everything came out really, really good. I'm happy with the scales. I'm somewhat happy with the anodizing, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. But let's get into it. I will show you guys the scales first. We have the G10 carbon fiber mix, that really, really cool texture that I like to put on this material. And this one I went a little different, so I started kind of at a sharp angle at the ends and then kind of worked my way straight, I guess, or kind of bend with the shape of the scale. And then when you're gripping the knife, you can actually have some texture going this way so you're not slipping off downward this way when you're on the edge, if that makes any sense. But that's what I did with the scales. Really, really happy with these. And with the anodizing, it was a little strange. I finally got some etchant, so I'm able to do the high voltage colors. So the customer wanted his favorite color, the kind of turquoise, teal, blue, greenish mix. And what's really strange about the liners is that they anodized kind of splotchy. And I reached out to Richie and Lindy Lou from Knife Modders. Just awesome stuff that they do. If you guys haven't seen their stuff, check them out on Instagram or YouTube. I'll leave their information down below where you guys can check them out. But they were saying that sometimes the factory finishes, in this case the stone wash, sometimes they anodize a little strange. So that's what happened here, but it's all right because the edge of the liner, which is the part that you see, is actually perfect. This does get covered, so it's not really too big of an issue. And it was really interesting because the pocket clip had the same finish, but it anodized perfectly. So again, I don't know what the case is on the liners. Maybe they were heat treated, but I'm not too sure. But pocket clip was perfect. And then the back spacer, I forgot to film it, but I did add the scalloped texture and anodized it, and it came out perfect. So really happy with the back spacer. And it flows with the spine of the knife and then the lock bar. So that's one thing I made sure everything flows. And then I'm going to show you really quick the spine of the blade right here. Really happy with how the blade came out, and the etch came out perfectly. Awesome stone wash. And Michael wanted to make sure that the USA was noticeable, and what's great about etching, when something is laser engraved in there, like the lettering, their logos, it pops even more. So he is going to get that just like he wanted. Again, really happy with how everything turned out. And the final thing I wanted to mention is all the hardware. I wanted to heat anodize it bronze, but it would have been way too much, and I didn't want to distract from the blue anodized parts. So what I did was I just put a kind of stone washed gritty finish to match the pocket clip and the back spacer. So I think it goes perfectly well with everything. Alright, so enough talking about it. Let's put this thing together and see what it looks like. Alright, so here it is, and I am loving that color with the black. It looks really, really good. The camera is not doing it justice, but you can see it a little better since it is against the black scales there. So it does pop a lot more, and yeah, looks really, really good. There's the pocket clip. Let's see if it functions. See if that drop shuts a little bit smoother. It's a little bit smoother. Before it was a little on the stiff side, but I did buff the lock bar. This part right here, I buffed the underneath part so that it glides a little bit nicer on the tang of the blade or the end of the blade. Basically that guide, so it does drop shut a lot better, and that's one thing Michael was looking for, so I'm glad that did make a difference. And I know some cold steel people polish this end of the blade too, and it makes it just like butter, but big improvement. And let's look at that spine that goes all the way to the back of the back spacer. So there it is, there's the lock bar, and then there's that back spacer. Goes all the way around and even underneath, which is always a cool part to do it because it's the part of the knife that gets the least amount of love, so gotta make that part shine too. Looks really, really good. As always, please let me know down below what you guys think. I always appreciate your guys' input. And again, I'm going to take some better pictures of how this color just really, really pops against this black because the camera is not picking it up. But even the liners all the way around just looks really, really good. Really, really happy with it, and I hope Michael likes it. And again, I'm glad I didn't do anything with the hardware because it doesn't take away from any of that cool color. And it just gives it a good contrast against the black as well. And I think gold would have been too much. So there is the USA made CPM 20 CV steel blade 4MAX from Cold Steel. Just a really, really gorgeous knife. And really quick, I did give it a fresh edge. Just wanted to show you guys with some paper that it cuts like butter. 20 CV was actually really nice to sharpen. It didn't fight me or anything, so again, really, really pleased with how this knife turned out. Couldn't be happier, so awesome. And I just might have to do my 8010 with my own titanium liner. Since this is so thin, I could probably just do it. So we'll see what happens here in the near future. But there it is. As always, you guys, thank you for watching. Appreciate the support. And as always, I will see you guys on the next one.